It's time for the Jay Foreman Postgame Show.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
Look to the left, and he kind of telegraphed it all the way. When the ball was tipped, Foreman's in the right spot.
Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Creekat, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical.
Here's Valenti dropping back, fires a pass, and it's intercepted by the Huskers at the 25, Jay Foreman. And Foreman takes it down to the 19-yard line of Oklahoma. Another big play by the Black Shirts.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is the Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Jay will join us momentarily, but to start, it's Nick Sainer, DP, with you. Nebraska wins one to improve to 5-3 this season. They win over the Boilermakers 31-14, despite a couple hiccups, a couple speed bumps, a couple poor decisions in that fourth quarter. You guys can chime into the show, 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951, all avenues for you guys to get in touch with us here at our 93.7 The Ticket Studios down here at 11th and O Street. Once again, Nick Sainer and DP hanging out with you guys. All right, DP, Nebraska 5-3. Towards the end there, it did not look too pretty, but they ultimately got the job done, and they're one win away from bowl eligibility.
Yeah, again, on the day of, I don't particularly focus on the other things. The headline reads, Nebraska is 5-3. That's the headline. The headline is Nebraska finds a way to beat another Big Ten team.
Yeah.
They got some more answers today. They got some more pieces to the puzzle. They still got some questions, but they got answers to questions.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if we go back, 2 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 2 months ago, if we said, hey, Nebraska's 5-3, headed into East Lansing, are you happy? So text line, feel free. The Huskers are 5-3. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Like that's the move to me.
Checks all the boxes.
That's the move to me. That previous times in this program's recent history, you would have found a way not to get the result that you got. So I stand in full celebration of Matt Rule and the coaching staff for getting them across the finish line. It looks like we have somebody on the Allo VIP line.
Yeah, it looks like we have Jason Peters on the Allo VIP line. Let's go to it as we're joined by Jason on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. What's up, Jason?
Well,
all right. Well,
close enough.
Yeah, we almost had him.
But
nonetheless, so I mean, once again, a win is a win, as you just said, DP. Nebraska wins it 31-14 over the Boilermakers, and they are 5-3 here. Huge shout out to Tanner's Bar and Grill, State Farm, and Vinny Creekat, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical for sponsoring the Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Once again, Jay will join us here momentarily, but for now, Nick Sainer and DP with you.
Let's do a quick spin through some of the numbers.
Let's do it.
Right?
Yes.
So some of the numbers that'll let you know. Now, a couple of things that you circle in the positive, in the absolute positive. A 14-0 halftime lead. Then you figure out a way, even through all your struggles, to win the second half 17-14. Like, in spite of all the other things, you still won the second half. Across the stat lines, total yards, Nebraska was plus. In passing yards, they were plus. In rush yards, they were plus. They were even in penalties, which is a thing to work on. Nebraska was plus in first downs. They were plus in third down conversions. Let's see what else. Average yards of play, Nebraska is a plus. Average yard per completion, Nebraska is a plus. For sacks, Nebraska is a plus. Production in the red zone, Nebraska is a plus. Time of possession, Nebraska 7 minutes in a plus. the one thing to circle is turnovers.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing. But again, Nebraska found a way. And through this program, I mean, this is recent history.
Yeah.
We all clenched up a little bit. Right? 24-14, we all kind of went, oh. But this is a different coaching staff. This is a different group of players. And watching the young guys excel, watching the young guys step up in development, whether it's Emmett Johnson stepping up, whether it's Sackman getting his work done, whether it's Emmett crossing over, whether it's figuring out how to get the deep balls in play. Exhale. The offensive line held strong enough for you to get a win and to improve to 5-3.
Yeah, Nebraska, to DB's point, fumbled 24 times now this season, which leads FBS. I believe had 5 of them today, which is definitely not a winning formula. But as DP said, they figured out a way to win the game when it's all said and done. How about this? Nebraska's defense is allowing points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, just 25% of the time this season. Nebraska's defense, you go down through the drive chart, and the one touchdown that they did allow was from a drive that started at the Nebraska 24-yard line, and on a scramble, somewhat of a broken down play, Hudson Card was able to make a pretty athletic play and find a receiver in the end zone. But you go down the list, and it's turnover on downs, fumble, punt, interception, 3 straight punts, a blocked field goal, 2 more punts, a turnover on down, a punt, an interception. Once again, DP, we're having the same conversation as we had last week after the Northwestern victory, that one was just an 8-point differential. But here we are after another game in week 9 after game 8, and Nebraska's defense put together another solid outing.
Yeah, I mean, that's super impressive. And we talked about it before the season started, that one of the things that gave me some feeling of warmth was Tony White and the way he communicates with his players. 2, the messaging and the philosophy that, listen, I go into this with some idea about identifying talent, developing that talent, and then getting that talent to execute, and then putting it in positions to be successful.
Yeah.
On the defensive side of the ball, we not only see it, but we've been validated in it. Now, the other side of it is, are we seeing it on the offensive side of the ball, which is the question you have to ask. But defensively, there's depth, there's versatility, and there's obvious development.
Yeah.
Where players, Phelan Sanford is working at a different level than he's worked, right? Isaac Gifford is playing at a higher level than he's played. Watching Nebraska up front actually be a force in the run game. Watching Nebraska defensive backs, the back 7 or the back 8, actually put Purdue playmakers on the ground. Like we've talked about run and hit guys in this program. These are actually run and tackle guys. Like I'm going to run through you no matter where you are on the field. I'm going to put you to the turf, and then we're going to reload. And they're stopping forward progress, which is a different kind of tackling that we've seen.
Yeah.
So to watch all of the things in place and to watch other offenses come into Lincoln and scramble trying to figure out, well, we can't find these guys, but they seem to be everywhere. Like, we can't find them and block them, but they seem to be everywhere we're trying to go with the ball. Kudos to Tony White and what he's done with this defensive end.
Yeah, Nebraska, Heinrich Harburg finishes with, frankly, a day that I think we all somewhat saw coming. Not a whole lot of passes. He only attempts 11 passes today. He completes 6 of them for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, no INTs. Obviously, a lot of that came on Jalen Lloyd's first collegiate touchdown on a play where, DP, you and I were sitting next to each other in the press box during the game, and we said we saw it from the jump.
Yeah,
it was a really, really well set up play, and a nice job by Jalen Lloyd running the route, and a nice job by Heinrich Harburg putting the ball on the money.
Great patience, even on a windy day where we weren't quite sure which way the flags were going to end up flapping, especially when the ball got up in the air. He put it on a bit of a rope to give it at least some string to it.
Yeah.
And then a great tracking of the ball and making a play. But to watch and have Fedoni make his play, just being patient in the route running and getting into the corner of the end zone and into that space. There was a whole bunch of patience going on. There was a lot of good stuff going on. It was, in fact, especially for that period of time, to watch Nebraska's offense in the first half, take advantage of situation, make plays. Yes, there's still the things with penalties, and there's still the thing with turnovers. Those are fixable. I'll let other people work on the things that need to be fixed. But to say, job well done.
Yeah.
Look, the Huskers are 5-3 and should be proud of themselves no matter how they play.
Yeah, once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line.
Yeah, here's what we can do. So Jay's in the building.
Yes.
So let's go to an early break.
Okay.
Go long here. Get Jay Foreman on. I'll take a secondary. I'll come back later on in I guess sometime around the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
And allow folks in downtown Lincoln to enjoy the night.
Let's do it. We'll field phone calls. We'll field texts. We have plenty of them to get to. Don't go anywhere. It's the Jay Foreman postgame show coming up next. 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken dips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman After Game Show? This is Jay Foreman along with Nick on the ones and twos, partner in crime. Nebraska victory again, 3 in a row, which is obviously much needed. Put you that much closer to the goal of bowl eligible and then some. Obviously, with everything that transpired today, it was anytime that you get a W, it's a good W.
Yeah.
And 31-14, Nebraska wins. Obviously, I think that Nebraska was the better team coming in. Definitely was not pretty in some form or fashions, but the defense was phenomenal, and they did what they needed to do. They forced Purdue to change quarterbacks. You know, you held Hudson Card to 50% completion rates, only 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Did a pretty good job against the run. They didn't play, to Nebraska's advantage. They didn't play Devin Mockabee much, but any other running back was stymied pretty much. Nebraska defense pretty much dominated. And the one thing I really liked about it, Nick, is that you saw from the very beginning, obviously the first play of the game, put in sudden change, adverse situations, answer the bell. Second series, come back. Jamari Butler causes the fumble. We get it. It was like, this is what you want when you're trying to play complimentary football. Yeah. Obviously, from a former defensive player standpoint, a little too much. But to those young men's credit, they answered the bell every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with you, right? And one thing I will say about Mockabee, I don't know if they necessarily didn't try to get him more involved.
It was just they couldn't.
They couldn't, and they knew it from the jump that they were not going to be able to run it successfully. And you got bailed out maybe by the wind a couple of times because Purdue on Tommy Hill's first interception, which a heck of a day for Tommy Hill, great day for Quentin Newsome as well. But on Tommy Hill's first INT, it was severely underthrown, and it kind of got up in the air and it ballooned a little bit. And that's when you kind of realized, okay, Nebraska has a shot to really separate themselves.
Well, the thing is, they're making the plays when they need to make them. Even when you think of how many times that Hartzog was tested, he made the play when they tried to go deep in the end zone. Isaac Gifford numerous times made the play one-on-one coverage. Obviously had a phenomenal day in the run game. And then really, I think the play of the game was this, right? Right on the punt return, I think it was, right? Fumble the punt return. Purdue kind of muffs it. It was like almost a football foul. These plays from you older gentlemen and young ladies out there, that it kind of just went through like four Purdue players' hands, went up, kind of like ejected up, went off a Purdue player's helmet. Newsome was Johnny on the spot, playing to the echo of the whistle, recovered it. That's a huge play because normally in the years past that would go to another opponent, and then obviously Nebraska capitalized on it. But you got to think, you got to be happy where you look at it as far as Nebraska offensively, right? This is what we can take away from it that's somewhat positive. Heinrich Harburg, 6 of 11, 100 and some yards, 2 TDs. Two TDs, you can be, is positive. 73-yard touchdown, so you think you're 5 of 11 for, 40, 50 yards. Okay, controlled passing game. We can deal with that. Emmett Johnson, 13 carries, 76 yards, 6 yards of carries, and a touchdown. Definitely can deal with that.
Yeah.
26 long, ran the ball hard. What we need to get better at is the quarterback run game, oddly enough, which has kind of been our bell cow. 19 carries, 22 yards, not good enough, indecisive, right?
And the inability also, Jay, to be shifty.
Yeah. That's where your indecisiveness comes from.
100%. Yeah. But I mean, Heinrich Harburg is one thing I will say when it's quarterback run game, he has the ability to break away, right? Break away and run away from tacklers. But the lack of shiftiness just hurts him time and time again. And these quarterback run plays that he decides to keep it on rather than handing it off or rather than pitching it, it might be the right call, but his ability to change direction just isn't there right now.
Yeah, that just comes from indecisiveness, knowing what you're going to do, anticipate what they're going to do defensively, and then you kind of go from there. So that needs to get better, like right now.
Yeah.
Which led to 2 fumbles lost.
Yeah.
Okay, that's ball security. Jeff Sims, 1 fumble loss. Okay, ball security. Alex Bullock got, bailed out by Quentin Newsome. And then you think defensively was phenomenal, whether it's Jamari Butler, Isaac Gifford was a star of the game, 2 tackles for losses, pass defense, and many more plays. John Bullock really answered the bell. Phelan Sanford, Omar Brown before he got hurt. Luke Reimer, obviously coming back off of a little bit of sickness, did well. The whole defense as a whole did well. And so, sometimes you need the defense to be able to answer the bell every single time. And that's where the offense, I guess, somewhat left him. So it's a good victory, right? And it's good to have these type. Look, people, here's the problem with some, I guess, fans or people that kind of evaluate the team. They're like, oh, well, the Big Ten West isn't good. Well, the Big Ten West hasn't been good for very, very long, for a while.
Yeah.
Like legitimately good, where they could go to the Big Ten East. I see you, my man, in Big Ten East, and win. If the Big Ten West won against the Big Ten East and the Big Ten West came out on top.
Yeah.
Hasn't been the case for a very, very long time. And so this is no different. Yeah, it's a little bit weaker, but, to be honest with you, Nebraska get a little bit break in the schedule, and the change of regimes in the Big Ten West was paramount. Nebraska to beat Purdue when you have to beat Purdue to kind of put you on the doorstep of where you want to get to be in a positive step as far as the program was a bigger victory. Now, fumbling on the first play of the game was not where you want to start. And we've done that, or whether turnover on the first play of the game, we've done that the last 2 weeks. We got to curtail that. But Nebraska has shown the ability, if there was a bounce back percentage, I think this team has been pretty good, and the defense has done well. And we've seen, a Northwestern team be at home and beat the brakes off of Maryland. So Northwestern victory wasn't as a foregone conclusion as thought so, because obviously this team can play. Obviously at home, they won all 4 of their games, which is good. Hold serve, but that doesn't mean that they're, all of a sudden they're different players. Nebraska beat them last week. And so, it's as much as I'd be excited, to win this game, I'm definitely calling some guys into my office if I'm the head coach, or if I'm a coach or whatever, and having some, very frank talks with them. As a quarterback, we have to have better decision, more decisiveness, less turnovers. Yeah. Because everybody's going to feed off your energy. And defensively, I'm going to keep saying I want more. I think they can play better. I think Ty Robinson can play better. Yeah. I think the linebackers can play better. I think our overall pass rush can get better, winning one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? Because there was plenty of opportunity. And so and the really thing where I probably, I was obviously probably Isaac Gifford might be the player of the game, but another guy that really did well is Tristan Alvano. Yeah. And for him to make that 55-yard field goal was huge for him. And then also in the special teams, Nebraska did well. But I think, Nick, over your right shoulder.
Yeah, we got Luke.
Luke Skywalker. What you got for us, my brother?
Luke, are you there, my man?
Yep.
All right, what you got? Luke.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you're on the air, my man. What you got for us?
All right. Hey, I was just going to say, as a Husker fan for so long, and as someone who would care so much in the past about how they won and how they played, that I'm so tired of these games where we lose. And this game coming in felt like a game we would get beat. Right. I don't know why. It just felt like a game that it would be we do something stupid to screw us up. And it felt like at the beginning we gave the ball away. It was going to be something that we got beat on. It was just horrible. I would take games like this where we win for someone who loves Scott Frost, for everything that he gave us. And I don't know. I felt like we should have given him so much, and it just didn't work. He wasn't the coach that we all thought he was. He wasn't this or that. And for this team to come in year one and win these games and be tough and be the team that we thought that we would see under Scott, for him to come in so quickly and do these things, I think it says a lot. And it'd be so easy for us to not give credence to these games that we should win and win. Like, we should always count every year. We beat Illinois. We beat Purdue. We beat, like, these teams that should be obvious, but we don't. We don't. We just don't. So me as a Husker fan is finally, like, it's kind of not a good thing, but I'm happy that we've won. I don't know how many games in a row.
Well,
three.
So we've won the three.
Yeah. Trace.
And yeah. But I don't know. It feels like a big deal. It feels like we could win the next. We could win every game on the schedule.
Let's go.
And it feels like after we scored 23, 24, I'm sorry, but we scored enough where I don't think any of us thought that we were going to score as much as we did now. So I don't know. I feel like
I got you, Luke. I'm going to let you go. I got you. So here's what I would say. Nebraska's got a 3-game winning streak for the first time since 2016, right? Luke was right about the past regime. It did not go the way we've planned. We thought it was going to go. Here we are, though, in year 1 of Matt Rule, and Nebraska has beaten Illinois. They've beaten Purdue. They're going to have an opportunity to beat Iowa for two straight years. They're going to have an opportunity to break the streak against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And how about this? Matt Rule said in his post-game press conference that this is the first time in 22 years that Nebraska has gone undefeated in October. In the month of October, that's something that I suppose you can hang your hat on if you're a Husker fan. Nebraska has gone undefeated in the month of October for the first time in 22 years.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. You know, to be honest with you, you want to give a little bit of credit to Scott Frost, a lot of credit to Mickey Joseph and Bill Bush and those guys, and especially Mickey Joseph and Bill Bush to kind of right the ship, which led to a good locker room to when Matt Rule came in, was able to kind of be 3, 4, 5 steps ahead.
Once again, put it in a better place than when they took over.
Yeah, definitely a better place. And then Matt Rule and his coaching staff and regime has done a really good job of increasing the accountability percentage, increasing the expectations, and then also increasing the confidence even higher than what Mickey was able to kind of end on the high note against Iowa. And then to battle through a somewhat obviously up and down, game from the offense, and the defense be able to step up, the special teams be able to step up. And, the field goal block team is part of the special teams / defense to, block a field goal, catch it on the fly, take it to the crib, be up 21-0, 24-0. It's a good game. Now, you rather have these games to where you can go back and point to some positive things like we mentioned before on the offense, and then also say, you know what, we got to do a lot better with a victory. And so that's where you want. And that's the thing that's, very positive. Now, the negative is the ball security, is to think of from the very first play of the game that, that needs to be a detail that needs to be hammered in. And that's actually the coaches are going to voice it. The players have to embrace it and do it themselves. And so, as we're going along, we got to, celebrate this thing until the rest, 12 o'clock midnight. And then tomorrow, when they have, I'm assuming they have some sort of recovery practice tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is on to Michigan State. And the reason why that is because the short-term goal, whether people believe it or not, is to be bowl eligible. Right. And then that's a huge mark to get in your first year for Matt Rule and staff and his whole regime. And then after that, let's see how much noise we can make. And as I just said that, Nick, I will never forget, Sean Bryson, who's one of my best friends in the whole wide world. And we both were rookies in Buffalo together. Obviously, from there on, been best friends. He worked for Matt Rule as a GA. And I asked him about Matt Rule from the very, when he first got hired. He said, listen, he said, Matt Rule going to make some noise up there. And it's going to happen quickly. He's like, I don't know what type of noise he's going to make. He's like, I know he's going to make some noise quickly. That's what he's doing. And so you got to give him credit. And it doesn't, it's not the ideal football that Matt Rule is wanting, right? Nobody is. But it's winning football. And these guys the one thing I like about Matt Rule is, and I'm not taking any shots at any past, regimes or coaches or whatever. He's smart enough to look at his team and saying, you know what? My defense is better than my offense. And you know what? We're going to kind of play to that. But then also we're going to figure out a way through the plethora of injuries on offense to find a way to be somewhat, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, if we don't punch ourselves in the face, somewhat respectable.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have our special teams continue to get better as the season goes on. And you can't bat an eye at that. You really can't. You got to give them credit for where it's at. It's not perfect, And I'm assuming they would tell you that, but they've done whatever they need to do to win games. And wins around here have not been at the level that it needs to be 5-2, right? It was a 5-2 or 5-3.
They're 5-3.
5-3, excuse me. 5-3 with 4 games left is a really good place to be in. And yeah, sure, everybody's going to be talking about getting 6 wins, going on the road to East Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully so, right? Now let's take this defense on the road. Let's be better on offense, because the thing about the offense is it's all correctable.
Yeah.
These aren't things that Purdue did to us. Missing blocks, allowing these guys to essentially shoot gaps and stuff like that to get tackles for losses, fumbling the ball. These are all things that Nebraska did to themselves. And the good and bad thing about it is you can fix it yourself. The bad thing about it is that it happened on Saturday, but it's better for it to happen into victory, because you don't want to continue to push the chips into the middle of the table, kind of playing, bluff or not, versus let's push our chips into the middle of the table when we're not turning the ball over and our defense is playing good and our special teams are playing good. And then we can really, collapse and paralyze some teams.
I wanted to say I've texted, all right, not texted, excuse me. I've tweeted this out. You can also follow us on Twitter at Nick_Sainert, at Foreman 5644 on Twitter. I tweeted this out, but then I've also talked already about it with DP, but I wanted to tell it to you as a defensive guy. Nebraska has not won the turnover battle many games, if any, this year, right? They've fumbled it 24 times on offense. It leads FBS in that category. You sit here and you go, how is Nebraska still winning games, right? How is Nebraska still winning, figuring out ways to win games 31-14 over Big Ten divisional opponents? How about this statistic for you, Jay? Nebraska's defense has had 94 defensive drives this season. They have forced a punt, a turnover, or a turnover on downs 73% of the time. So you're talking about allowing points, and that includes all the drives that you can think about that have started on Nebraska's side of the 50,
right,
inside the red zone. This includes field goals and touchdowns, but Nebraska's defense is only allowing a field goal or a touchdown 25% of the time. It's remarkable,
right?
Because it's such a commendable performance consistently from this defense,
right?
That as a Nebraska fan, you're sitting here going, if Nebraska's offense just could get it figured out a little bit more, this thing could be really fun to watch.
It'd be a good year, and the good thing about it is when you keep winning, you're 5-3. You still have the chance for the offense to get going.
Absolutely.
The funny thing about the offense is, Nick, as I watch it, as frustrating or as kind of on the edge of your seat as it is that it's all correctable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the frustrating part for the players and the coaches, because I know for a fact that they probably and want to perform better. They can correct it and all this other things. And so, really kind of not, sometimes I feel like this offense is seeing that the defense doing so well, so they're trying to play perfect and not mess the game up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you end up kind of putting the defense in inopportune times anyways. And so go out there and let it hang. Just let it all hang out. And it's not play out of character. It's just go play football. Look, 2 hands on the ball when you're about to get hit. Ball security. Take what you can get. Let's focus on less, false starts, less, illegal procedure penalties or not enough guys on the line of scrimmage. And let's see where we can be at, because I think when with Emmett Johnson, 13 carries, 76 yards, over 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
He has shown you and the line has shown you that they can run the ball conventionally. So when you think about him, Fleeks, Grant, that's a combo that you can really ride with. Now, when we get into the option game, we have to really, really hone in on the finer details for Heinrich Haarberg to be more effective, because we don't need you overthinking, right? We just need you to react. And your reaction is going to be based on what the outside rusher does. And we're going to just rep that, and then you got to mental rep it. So everything that I'm talking about, whether it's, the tight ends block and the running back's execution, quarterback's execution, is all correctable. And there was a few times, on the sacks that Hunter Harburg, either got pressured on or had to throw out of bounds or eventually got sacked. The offense, give it credit. Give Coach Donovan Raiola credit. 3 new starters, plenty of time in pass protection. Run blocking could have been a little bit more, but I think the running blocking, it was thrown off by the misreads, whether it was the quarterback or running back. So you got to give the offensive line credit. They performed a lot better than people really thought they were. Purdue was an active defensive front. Those 2 dudes, number 4 and number 5, are dudes that you're going to see on Sunday. They can play football. They have been playing a high level of football, and that's what you saw today. Nebraska finally got it together to take advantage of their back end and was able to pull out the victory. But I think before we go to break, do we have Aaron?
Yeah, let's go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685, where we're joined by Aaron on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Aaron, you're on the Jay Foreman Postgame Show. What's on your mind?
Hey, Nick. Hey, Jay. I just wanted to say I am so happy for a couple of reasons. First, just the little things in the game that you can tell that they're improving on, especially on defense. The one that pops to my mind was Lynham on the punt.
Yep, that was phenomenal.
Second week in a row.
It's a long punt, and we have a guy there to make a play. On defense, swarming to the ball, tackling. Just there's so many little things that have gotten better than the previous years. And I think the thing that makes me the happiest, Jay, obviously in the 90s, I'm the same age as you.
He's a young man.
It was just so exciting to watch you guys play. And my kids have never seen that side of Nebraska. And I think that finally just makes me happy that I can share that with them. I know we're not near as good as the 90s yet, but you can definitely tell Rule and his staff, I mean, especially with the defense, has made huge strides this year. It finally makes me happy to go to a game and I can be excited. As long as the offense doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, I think we have pretty good odds of being in every game the rest of the year.
There you go.
That's all I got. I think. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Appreciate that, Aaron. That's a good one. I mean, I understand. Like, I get it. Because frankly, Jay, like I wasn't around when y'all were playing, and so no.
Where were you at, man?
Not even a twinkle. Not even a twinkle. But like, here's the deal.
Your little thought, right?
The best, and I've said it before on various shows. Like, the best Nebraska defense that I have seen is that 09 defense. That's the best one that I've seen, and this is probably the second best behind that I've seen.
We're gonna let them figure it out. We're gonna see how they finish the season. But yeah, I'm right there with you.
Right, because this is a team that now, I mean, has firmly put the entire team on their shoulders. It feels like,
and I like that,
and have carried them to 5 wins.
Yeah,
and that's okay, because that tough, nitty gritty, just gutted out victory is something that I think Nebraska fans gravitate towards, because that fits the mentality and the mindset of Nebraska fans.
I think the biggest thing is that the defense is just taking it. Look, nobody knew how this 3-3-5 was going to work, right? Or going to work in the Big Ten and so forth and so on. Tony White is just doing what he did at Syracuse, which is making the most out of his roster, inspiring the kids to play better, teaching them football. They have gravitated to him and all the assistant coaches, and it's worked out dang well. And Nebraska feels like they can pack their defense, whether they're home or away, and they're going to be challenged next week, being on the road against Michigan State. And so, I love it when the defense plays well. I love it when the defense, like Jamari Butler, a kid that should have been maybe playing a lot more, but they brought in O'Shawn Mathis, where he was able to wait his turn, keep his mind right. I know he jumped in the portal, but came back, and then he's made the most of his opportunities. When you think of MJ Sherman and Chief Borders were the foregone conclusion to start at Jack, he moved into the defensive end. Now he's one of your best pass rushers. I think 5.5 sacks on the season. And guys like that, Omar Brown, I know he got dinged up, but he's been a consistent player and a physical presence. So when you think of the defense leading the team, that's really, really good. And then the offense, just needs to get more consistent and get better. And so it stops and starts with the quarterback, then it goes to the offensive line. Emmett Johnson and crew as a running back, we need to figure out a way to be a little bit more better there. I think the young rookies as receivers did a really good job. And so, where Nebraska's at being 5-3, I think it's a good spot. And obviously we'd like to be already 6-2, giving away against Minnesota and so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, we are where we are, and we control our destiny from here on out. And there's nothing better than that feeling, knowing if you go out there and play your best game for 4 quarters, more times than not, you'll get to your goal.
Yeah, once again, Nebraska is victorious 31-14 over Purdue. This game was a game that got somewhat chippy at times.
It was chippy from the very beginning.
It was chippy, right? And we remember what Ryan Walter said earlier in the week about how he had him focused. He hated the N on the helmets. Yeah. And he hated the color and all that. Well, the team of Purdue, give them credit. This was a game where the weather and the stadium wasn't entirely full. They announced that it was 86,000. It was more like 70. But this was still a create your own energy type of game, it felt like.
Well, at the end of the day, when you're playing football, man, there's no fair dodging. And, you got to create your own energy. You got to be ready to go. And Purdue came in and wanted to bring it to you. And it took, I think, to be honest with you, it took a little, especially on the offensive side for Nebraska, it took a little while for them to get, into the fight. And once they engaged into the fight, they were, then they were just fine. And the defense, we came out ready to fight. And so,
yeah,
it is what it is. And everybody's played in those games. It was the first kind of bitter cold game, 2:30 game. People was like, okay, I can probably watch it at home. Mm-hmm. But if you watched it at home, you missed out on a really good game in the sense of to see Nebraska do some things that they were, haven't been able to do the last 4 or 5 years, which is gut out some ugly victories, hang in there on defense, look legit on defense, be able to physically hang in there against a running back and a running team that got after you. So it's commendable. Now, was it perfect? No. And they got a lot of things to work on. But offensively, they made some strides in some areas and some areas not so much. And in the areas that they hadn't is that ball security is an issue. So it looks like your butt's going to be outside for the rest of the week. There's no more. You're not afforded the luxury of being in the not air conditioning, but in the heated Hawks and stuff. We got to get you out there so you're used to the elements, because every single game we are going to have to prepare from here on out in November to be a little bit, brisk and cold. There's nothing wrong with that. And so, like I said, this is a single series movie 12 times a year. And Nebraska was able to come out with the better rating or the Rotten Tomatoes rating, out of this movie. And that doesn't mean you just say, okay, well, we've arrived. We're getting towards where we need to get, but we can get better at it. And that's where the mindset Nebraska should take starting tomorrow.
Yeah, once again, Nebraska wins 31-14 over Purdue. When we come back, we'll probably have Matt Rule sound bites. I also want to ask Jay about the quarterback situation, because we saw Heinrich Harburg leave. He says that he's all good, ready to go. His chin was bleeding a little bit after he got popped.
A little chin music.
A little chin music.
You can't be running. Hey, listen, when you run up there and you're running there with your pads high, you're going to get pistol whipped.
Yeah, so I want to talk to Jay about the quarterback situation. Jeff Sims obviously comes in, fumbles, unfortunately. And so we'll dive into all that and more when we return. Jay, send it, my man.
All right, man. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back, have Matt Rule, and we're going to dive into the quarterback, who should play, why they should play, and more importantly, Nick, how they played Saturday or this Saturday against Purdue. Jay Foreman and Nick, Jay Foreman After Game Show. We'll be right back.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club or space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400.
Everybody wants a classic Christmas. Well, there's nothing more classic than cash. So until January 3rd, 2024, enter non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic scratch tickets online, and you could win $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. Hurry and jingle all the way to your nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer and have yourself a classic little Christmas with the whole family of Holiday Classic scratch tickets. Top prize odds vary by game. We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Pick 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska Lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Pick 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
This is Chris Elgert, loan originator at Lincoln Federal. With over 20 years in the industry, I have found it's extremely gratifying to solve my customers' home financing needs and then show them the options and strategies available for them to fulfill their goals. But my biggest reward comes when I watch my valued customers experience the American dream of home ownership and move into their new home. Talk with me about your home loan at Lincoln Federal and Go Big Red. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Personal banking like you remember.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Krekak, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're playing to win, right? It's an option pass. He has some pressure. He throws the ball away. He snaps the next snap. It's not that hard. He can do it. He shouldn't stand there and take that hit. Their kid didn't. Their kid ran out and threw the ball out of bounds. So, we're working through with Heinrich all the time to get to where we want to get him to get.
So there is Matt Rule on Heinrich Harburg, and if the quarterback has taken too many hits because of the option, he had a longer answer, but that's the start of it. Jay, I guess just overall assessment of Heinrich Harburg today, because I want to dive deep into the quarterback conversation. We'll get to Matt Rule. We'll get to a couple phone calls that we have. Overall thoughts before we get to the phone calls, Heinrich Harburg's performance today.
I think he did. It was definitely up and down. It was like a roller coaster. I think that he did some good things. Obviously, the deep pass was on the money, so that's good. He had a couple good third down passes or passes that we need. I call them half-to-half passes, rolling to his right. Ball security obviously probably needs to get exponentially better, and maybe decisiveness on the RPO option game needs to get a little bit more better. I think it was probably just 50-50, with him. And I think, he can play better than that. He knows it. And there's some things I think he got better at versus the last game, and there's some things that he probably stayed pat at. And look, when you're carrying the ball run-wise 19 times, ball security, becomes a big issue. So it's something that he just needs to, focus on and make better, going into next week. Because right now, everybody, it saw that you got stripped a couple of times and fumbled. So they're going to try to, rip it out of your hands if you don't get it right.
Let's go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. We got Frank, who's been waiting patiently. Frank, appreciate the patience, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, what you got for us, Frank?
Hey, guys. Hey, as well as I do, sometimes it just takes a little bit of belief in yourself. So is this enough? Is this win enough to get us over the hump to go ahead and win these last 4 games? Is that what it's going to take? And I'm sitting here with Macaroni Tony, and he wants to know who's going to be the next Jay Foreman, who's going to step up and put these heads to bed. All right? That's what I want to know.
I like that, Frank. I like it.
Shout out to Macaroni Tony.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you want to be the next Jay Foreman. I always say that you want to be the next Levante David or somebody like that. So it could be any and everybody. It could be Fields. It could be Mekhi Geiber. It could be Bullock. It could be a plethora of guys they got. The one thing about Tony White, he's shown that he's going to play a lot of guys, and they're all going to be productive and get the opportunity to play. So we shall see. But as far as the win getting us over the hump, it's definitely putting us in the right direction. It's definitely giving us confidence that we're getting close to the goal of 6 wins, which has been obviously a goal that should be achieved on more times than not around here, and hasn't. So it's a big deal when Nebraska does. Obviously, sooner than later, I would like to get our 6th win next week, and then I'd like to put more pressure on you. Right? Okay, you got 6 wins, so now you showed your butt a little bit. Right now, okay, now you got 6 wins. I want to see if we can get 7, 8, 9 wins. And so, I think it's one of the things is make the same approach. There's plenty of mistakes that need to get corrected. There's plenty of positives that need to get accentuated and talked about. But for us moving forward, now we're going on the road, right? We don't have the luxury of being at home. We got to hone in on it because we have a team that's dead in the water that is ripe for the picking in Michigan State, and it's up to us to go up there and put them away early. And so, there's a lot of positive things that comes out of it. I think this could be a signature victory. I think where you have all phases that did something really positive, offense, defense, special teams, and then make sure that you address all 3 phases and what they need to get better at. and the negatives or whatever you want to call it, and then just go from there.
Yeah, Nebraska goes into East Lansing next week. Michigan State has not won since, I believe, September 9th, if I remember correctly. They're losing games since then by an average of 20-plus points.
Right.
At a time where Nebraska has an opportunity to get to bowl eligibility in the first week in November, and for the first time since 2016. So, I mean, every week we have the same conversation of what's on the line, right? What's the next negative connection or statistic that Nebraska can break with a win on that day? Last week it was, hey, or I should say 3 weeks ago, it was win a game going into a bye week. They did so. Then it was use the bye week productively enough to where you're coming out of the bye week with a victory. They did that. Now today it was, all right, become undefeated in the month of October and have your first 3-game winning streak since 2016.
Right.
You did that. Each week, it feels like Nebraska's been able to do things that they haven't been able to do in years past. And next week's just another week to where Matt Rule and them always talk about going 1-0.
Yeah, this is just another game. Like I said, it's a 12 movie series, individual movie series for this season for this team. And so as much as you're going to celebrate this until when the next time you step on the field, which will be sometime tomorrow, then after that happens, our focus has to go towards Michigan State and what we can do to beat them and take our team on the road, take our defense, pack our defense on the road, pack our special teams and offense on the road. Need to get exponentially better in the last 2 phases that I talked about, and then continue along the process of playing well defensively and not let Michigan State have any confidence, throughout the game. And so, there's pressure always to go around, and this is what you come to Nebraska for, to reach goals and then exceed goals and then get to bowl games and then being able to get indoors, that you wouldn't from a recruiting standpoint and an expectation standpoint and a overall thought of your university standpoint. So I think it's a good place to be in. They just got to attack the week like they had before. Looked like they came out of the game pretty healthy, which is good. I felt like I've seen some things more positively out of the offensive line that these stats that necessarily don't show. And that comes from decision-making at the quarterback, running back, and all that other stuff, and they can get better at it. And then we need to be a little bit better blocking, or a lot of bit better blocking on the edges from our tight ends and slot receivers. And then, the take off on there. I think the play calling was pretty good as far as, the rhythm of what Satterfield was going to do. The execution needs to get a little bit more consistent. And then the defense needs to continue along. The defense played well, but also I think that the defense can play better. So, look, there's a lot to be had out here. There's a lot of meat on the bone, but it's always good to come in after I guess less than satisfactory expectations and be successful. And, I think this team is built for, adverse situations and adverse conditions. And so from there on, you just feel like they're going to play well.
Let's go back to the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. I believe we have Will on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Will, is this you?
Sir William.
Yeah, this is Will.
What's up, Will?
From East LA.
There you go, Will from East LA. What you got on your mind today?
Let's talk about Sims. Honestly, what are we going to do with the guy? I mean, we can't put him on offense because he's going to fumble. If we put him on as a receiver, he's either not going to catch the ball, or if he does catch the ball, he's going to fumble. I mean, dude, he was in the game for like 8 seconds, and what happened?
Well, all right. Thanks, Will. We appreciate the phone call. Jay, what do you do with Jeff Sims?
I think you just continue to coach Jeff Sims. I think you continue to encourage him to push Heinrich Haarberg to do better, because that means Heinrich Haarberg would do better, and staying with Jeff Sims would obviously come through the rehab process. And just go from there. I think it's too late in the season to really move in positions if it's not necessarily an emergency. And, he just got to continue. He hasn't played in a very long time. I don't think anybody rolls up to a game thinking, oh, I'm the backup and the starter's going to get hurt. So you got to be a little bit more prepared and locked in from that standpoint. The fumble hurt, and it's almost too magnified because he had fumble issues before, which is no different than Heinrich Haarberg, but essentially it costs more when you're Jeff Sims. And so he's got to, really hone in on it, and he'll be fine. And then, like I said, him and Anthony Grant coming down this stretch, they'll need those two and then some to finish out games. And so as much as it is cool and great to, text in and call in from anonymous numbers and so forth and so on, understanding that these kids have the ability to step up. And then if that's the case, you got to be willing to eat crow.
Well, let's go right back to the Honda of Lincoln hotline where we got Steve on the line. Steve, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Awesome, Steve. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome,
Steve. The crowd was pretty loud. I don't know how many people were actually there, but it was pretty loud. I was at the game. A couple things going back to the Scott Frost era. Just getting in the shotgun for a 1-yard run. Why are we still in the shotgun? Didn't work then. It's not working now.
All right. Appreciate that, Steve. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong here. It provides space, right? Like there's space and there's movement
a little bit,
in it.
yeah. I mean, I think it's everybody. Look, the Philadelphia Eagles have the best offensive line and have had the best offensive line for about 4 or 5 years. So when you run the quote unquote tush push,
yeah,
I could be playing quarterback. You, young Ben, and also Harrison could all be playing quarterback, and we get a yard. So everybody sees that and they look at Nebraska. Why aren't they doing it?
Yeah.
I guess I can see both sides. I can see where you're not a fan of being in the shotgun because we have PTSD from Purdue umpteen years ago to 2018 against Nebraska, where you let the guy come in and it was dead in the water. But then also I see it where you can make it. And so I think it really comes down to execution. I think the one play that people were really, really mad at on 4th and 1, it had nothing to do. Now, granted, Heinrich Harburg lost a step, so the turf monster got him. But the penetration came from one of the edges. And when that happens, that has nothing to do with the quarterback. And so there's always a cause and effect. And so you can't just look at the end result. You got to look at why the end result happened the way it did and then try to evaluate from there. But, I think, depending on how you're blocking and what type of groove you are as far as the offensive line, tight ends, I don't think it really matters where your quarterback is, but it gets magnified when you're not able to get that 4th and 1. Just because sometimes it's very it's huge in the flow of the game.
I think we can look back at that 4th down sequence and just have a couple questions. When Jeff Sims was in the game for that brief moment, Nebraska had 4th and 1. They come out. They finally set it up when it's with like 8 seconds left on the play clock. They get Purdue to jump on the hard count. And they do not snap it. Therefore, they then take a timeout. They then set up the punt. They get them to jump on the punt to then make it 4th and 1 again. You could go back, which on that 4th and 1, then they ran the Jeff Sims that ended up going back for the touchdown, right, for Purdue, where he fumbled on it. There are plenty of things that you can discuss and question prior to Jeff Sims running that ball. That on Teddy Prohaska as a left tackle, that guy in front of you jumps and comes into your area. At some point, you have to move. Right. Like you have to draw that penalty to get the first down, or you need to snap it to where it's a free play.
What was the 3rd down play before that? Was that the jet sweep to Jalen Lloyd?
No, it would have been. I believe they ran it with Emmett Johnson just up the middle for a few yards.
Right, but I think the one that was really, really crucial. I think you might be wrong. Is that they ran a kind of jet sweep with Jalen Lloyd, and Borkesher needed to kick out number 4.
So here we are.
Right.
That drive went this way. It was simple. Anthony Grant runs for 4 yards. Anthony Grant runs for 2 yards. Jeff Sims runs for 3 yards, which then would make it 4th down and 1. Delay of game makes it 4th down and 6. Brian Buschini punts it to make it 4th down, and then the offsides on Purdue on the punt takes it back to 4th and 1, and then on the shotgun, Jeff Sims, he fumbles it, and they return it for a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely not the best look, and so Nebraska has to understand when you have full momentum of the game, anything that you do in a negative facet, as far as turnovers, tackles for losses against you and stuff like that is almost, twofold, because it means that much more to the defense. And, that was one series, but I think the series after or before, or maybe even after, stymied on 1st and 2nd down.
Yep.
And then they ran a reverse with Jalen Lloyd. Borkesher just needed to kick out his block, but number 4 from Purdue slipped inside, made the tackle. If he didn't make the tackle, you score, the game is over. It's still, 31-7, and it changes the dynamic of the game. And so, really, I think the offense, line played decent today, but we just need to be a little bit sharper as far as the plays that you mentioned on that drive, the plays that I mentioned on this drive, and the offensive line just isn't the 5 guys. It's the extended guys, the tight end. It's the move tight end. It's the big tight end that comes in based on the personnel. Everybody has to be on point, and it could because as you move along in this process with 4 games left, you have to make sure that the little things are covered, and that's where I think that Nebraska can really improve in the run game and give themselves opportunities. So, as much as we're sitting up here, Nebraska needs to get better at A, B, and C. They got a lot of things that they're pretty good at, and then they need to get a little bit better at some of the things that they aren't very good at. And then when you get to that point, you're able to go on the road, play pretty consistently. You're ready to come home and play excellent. You're able to go on the road and then come back.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good feeling to have when you have all your ducks in a row, or at least knows what it feels like, right? To have all your ducks in a row.
And I might be on an island on this. I'm okay with them going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I feel like
that's where you can take all hope out of it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's playing with superior confidence. That's playing with, thinking that and knowing that you're ready to go. And to be frank, it's something that you should be able to get.
Well, and to be fair, they did. They Jeff Sims got 3 yards on that drive. That guy zoomed by.
Yeah.
That they got 3 yards on that 4th and 1 play. He just fumbled it, right? So you want to talk about like Nebraska's ability to close out games. It looks a lot better if they end up not fumbling on that specific play, because then Purdue only has 1 touchdown. It's potentially a 38-34-7 type of finish instead of a 31-14 finish. It feels a lot better if they don't fumble, right? But Nebraska is where they at. They have 24 fumbles as a team this season, which leads FBS.
Right. Yeah. And look, ball security is a huge deal. I mean, everybody could easily just come in here and say, "Oh, we're going to blame the coaches," but ultimately, from the very first play of the game,
exactly,
to Jeff Sims and everybody else not Jeff Sims, but to Heinrich Harburg, ball security and technique falls exclusively and solely on the player, because I know for a fact that techniques that's been talked about, and teach during practice. It's up to you to make sure that you're, actively listening to it and then applying it to it, whether it's to a practice scenario or practice game-like situation, or in the most, high intensity situation is a game situation. So, I think it's something that I think maybe have been a wake-up call, because sometimes players can hear you and not listen, and they're kind of going, not, I wouldn't say going through the motion, but going through the motions of hearing what you have to say and really taking into an account what you have to say, or listening to what you have to say, excuse me. And maybe this is it, where you could say, listen, possibly our running back room could have played a big part in us losing the game. It didn't happen today, but let's make sure it doesn't happen in the future. So, they got a ton of opportunity, and maybe that's the most frustrating thing about the team. And it's a good frustration, right? I'd rather be frustrated with the team being 5-3 versus 3-5 and looking down the barrel and thinking like this team hasn't even came close to expectations. I'd rather be frustrated, because I think the players all can play better. I think they can all play better as a cohesive unit. I think they can go out there and really surprise some people based on the personnel they have. And you've seen Marcus Satterfield be a little bit more unique and creative on Friday night, and then also on Saturday night, as far as or not Saturday night, but obviously Saturday mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
To do some different things, and the execution level needs to be spiked up in a higher percentage, and you get that going on 1st and 2nd down. It makes 3rd down a lot more easier. And then what we need to do, if you take a page out of the Lincoln East book last night against Southeast, which we called, is really take the life out of a team. A 6, 7, 8 yard a drive is very taxing on the team, both physically and mentally. So, with that being said, listen, Nebraska shouldn't feel apprehensive of being, celebratory in this victory, but you also have to be realistic in the sense of there's some things that we did that we shouldn't do and we haven't done up to this point. So we need to make sure that we keep each other in check, make sure we hold ourselves accountable as far as catching the punts, catching balls on offense, recovering balls on defense, so forth and so on. Keep harping on it, because it'll pay dividends a little bit later down the road.
Once again, 402-464-5685. Jay and I got about 10, 15, maybe minutes left. here in our portion before we hand it off to DP for the rest of the evening. One thing that kind of went under the radar today was that Marcus Satterfield, who normally calls games from the field, was up in the press box today calling the game. Matt Rule was asked how, if Marcus Satterfield being up in the box helped. Here's what the head coach had to say on his offensive coordinator.
I think we played this defense earlier in Illinois, and when we ran all the options and those types of plays, they did a couple things to take it away, right? And they took the safety and they basically brought him down, and he just played Heinrich, so there was no one in the middle of the field. So he was, we were all able to keep an eye on that and say, hey, when they come down, we're gonna throw the launch to Jalen. I just think for Sat, it's I think he wanted to be able to see the whole defense, him and Garrett up there. He wanted to see what they're in. And I think, he maybe hasn't had a guy like Donnie on the sidelines in years past. Josh and some of those guys, they do such a good job. Really, honestly, like Elliott Brown is like a cheat code for us. Elliott Brown's he basically coaches the receivers during the game and then goes in and plays as needed. Like, he's got a headset. He's signaling. Garrett's like, hey, get so-and-so in. It's like we have another coach. And so I think Sat just felt comfortable with the things that happened on the field, wanted to go up, wanted to see it a little bit more, knowing that, hey, this defense is going to do about 3 or 4 different things. And so he's just waiting to see them. He started to pressure us a little bit, and I thought he made some great adjustments to it. So I had to go back and look at the exact thing. I really thought the thing on the third drive, Mitch, was that I thought Fleeks just made some huge plays for us, right? Like the third down catch, and Fedoni did a great job on that. Then the big option play. So those plays were really well executed by the guys.
All right, so Jay, from your opinion, how much more beneficial could it be to see the all 22 rather than the limited view on the sideline?
I mean, it just depends on, Satterfield to get a different look and kind of take himself out of the arena of the pressure and maybe like a little bit of the ambiance or the stadium scene. I think it's good. I think you can see a lot. You can kind of focus in on a player or position group to maybe take advantage of. You can maybe get a better look on how your quarterback is going through progressions based on where the defense is aligning pre-snap and then obviously during the snap and then maybe where they end up post-snap. I think it's a good deal, but I think the most importantly, the person that really can tell you the answer is Marcus Satterfield, but I think it paid off dividends. I think the game plan was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think the execution from a ball handling standpoint obviously wasn't on point. That just kind of negated everything that maybe you kind of put into a book or a game plan. And so, I think, initially, if I just had to give it a positive or a negative, I think it's pretty positive. And for him to take himself out of the, the pressure and the communication of dealing with players, I think it's great. And, we'll see how much he likes it in the future. And I just think that if these guys execute better, we're having a different conversation. So, it's back to the lab. These guys are knowing, understanding what they have as a talent-wise and leadership-wise. They just got to continue to try to strive and push and get the best out of them, and then let them go out there and play on Saturday. And so I think you're seeing growth offensively that you hadn't seen before, whether it's minute, big, or kind of indifferent. You have to recognize it. And so as they move forward, I think they're starting to feel more comfortable with, obviously Emmett Johnson, Fleeks, and Anthony Grant. And if that changes as far as, the pecking order, so be it. I think these coaches are getting more trust by the day or the week from the fan base or people that kind of evaluate the program based on not everything they've said. They're backing it up with actions. And so you got to respect that. And then obviously being at 5-3, ideally, we'd like to be 6-2. Legitimately, win the first game against Minnesota. This was a pressure-packed game.
Yeah.
Now let's see what we can do. Let's go do something that we've never done before. Let's go up there and right the wrong last time we were at Michigan State, right, where we had total control of the game. I think the defense gave up like a half a yard or something.
Yeah,
in the second half.
Defense gave up 10 yards and 1 first down in the second half.
And so let's go up there and do more. This is a team that's right for the picking, for a butt kicking. Yeah. And let's go give it to them. And, look, as much as we're talking about some of the things that need to get better, let's not forget, we ran the ball pretty dang good.
Yeah.
We stopped the ball.
With the running backs.
Right, with the running backs. We stopped the ball from being ran on us pretty dang good. Our one-on-one defenders, and when we were in man-to-man, whether it was Newsom, Hartzog, and obviously Isaac Gifford, stepped up and did some good things. Linebackers at the second level did pretty well. We need to get a little bit more authoritative as far as our rush lanes and with a little sense of urgency, a little jalapeno, in your butt. And, we'll go from there. So like I said, Matt Rule should be excited. Everybody should be excited. Come tomorrow, whenever they have to do their thing. On to Michigan State to go up there and beat the Spartan Dogs.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you talk about the game plan and how, I mean, there was definitely some bright spots on execution, definitely things to work on. One of the bright spots in the second quarter that Nebraska had an 8-minute and 52 second drive that resulted in a touchdown. We talked coming into the game that if this ended up being a 1-score, maybe even a 10-point differential, it's going to be Nebraska would have an opportunity at the end of the game to kind of put the dagger in Purdue. They did so with that Emmett Johnson 28-yard touchdown at the end. But throughout the course of the game, like if Nebraska can consistently put together, and they don't have to be 9-minute drives every time, but those 4, 5, 6, maybe throw in a 9-minute drive every now and then, those are back-breaking for an opponent. Those are back-breaking for an opponent. When you also don't forget you have your defense out there that's only allowing points 25%.
Right. It was a defensive battle. You got to think Nebraska only had 277 yards. Purdue had 195. You got to think the biggest thing I think for Nebraska defensively on 3rd and 4th down, Purdue was 5 of 19.
Yeah.
That's how the game was won and lost. Nebraska was 6 of 15. There you go. Right. Wasn't a pretty game either side of the ball or either team offensively. Defensively, Nebraska did a good thing. They had 2 interceptions. Nebraska, turned the ball over four times. Purdue was trying to match you as much as possible, turned it over 3. Penalties were about the same. Purdue had more penalty yards than Nebraska, which is obviously a positive for Nebraska, and Nebraska controlled the time of possession. So all the things that you look for, right? Nebraska did it. Average per pass, Nebraska almost tripled that at Purdue. The running game, Nebraska and Purdue are right at each other, 3.3 yards a carry. We'd like to be a little bit better, but we had 19 more rush attempts. And so we like that, right? We're trying to gut punch you and bleed you to death, and that's what they did. And so, like I said, it's a good win, not a great win. And we haven't had a lot of good wins around here in the recent history. And so, it's onward and upward and everything's in a pot of positive, form or fashion. But that also doesn't mean that we rest on our laurels and can't handle success. Success for this team is winning 3 in a row. We haven't done it since 2016. Now can we go for 4? How do we handle people texting, calling us, social media and us, telling us good job? The coach is telling us good job. Are we also focusing on what we did positively, right? But then also really, really hone in with laser-like focus on what we didn't do well.
Yeah.
Turning over the ball, conventional run game, conventional pass game, so we don't have to blitz, so forth and so on. This team embraces those type of things is as big or small or indifferent as they are, or as hard to look at versus not hard to look at. You'll see these guys do something commendable to finish out this season. Win this next week, and then let's really kind of push the whole chips to the middle of the table, and then let's go to somebody else and say, I need some more chips, and let's see where we all hang out. And then I think you'll see some really good things.
Yeah, Nebraska 5-3. Last thing I do want to mention before we get it out of here and hand it off to DP and Harrison is guys that are quote unquote started the season as backups. Stepping up, right? Josh Fleeks was more active and present than we've ever seen in a Husker uniform.
And really broke the game open with that 3rd down catch.
Yeah, he did. Jalen Lloyd, obviously, with the 1 catch, 73 yards. He showed his speed to be able to break away on a really nice route and a nice ball by Hunter Carberg. You had
Jaden Doss.
Yeah, Jaden Doss had that big catch on 3rd down for 16 yards, I want to say, that kept Nebraska's drive alive. On the defensive side, another example of Phelan Sanford stepping up in recovering for Deshaun Singleton. Obviously, Jamari Butler, who we've had multiple conversations about, just his journey is so unique with going into the portal and then choosing to come back, and now has truly found a role. There's a lot of guys that have stepped up.
Prince-Well.
Yeah.
You've seen Cam Lemonard in there.
Elijah Judy blocked the field goal.
You've seen Nash, Polar Bear doing some good things. Give it up for MJ Sermon. He got in there on a sack with Jamari Butler. The three linebackers, I saw Nick Heinrich made a few good plays. Luke Reimer, John Bullock, Mekhi Geiber got in there a little bit. But also I want to give it up to Tommy Hill, right? Really, look, last year was kind of a up and down year. Started the year off kind of up and down. But ever since that Colorado game, it seems like he's really focused in and found something that in a positive way to help the team, moving forward. Now, I'd probably tell Tommy I'm not really sure about catching that punt as a blocking out there against the gunner, which we used to call vice. You blocking that was probably not the best thing to do. But what I really like about Tommy Hill is making the interception. Had probably one of the best returns where he put the airlock brakes on. The guy just flew right by and requested a flyby there for him. And, he did some good things. And so that's what you really want. And I think that Nebraska has got to just fully embrace who we are right now. Stop trying to kind of, dummy down their success. Now, is it perfect? No. Is it where we need to be? No. Do we need to get better as some of the little things, right? Meaning holding on to the ball if you're up guy, holding on to the ball as a quarterback, not really, not trying to catch a fair catch as in a punt return when we're being a vice. Those are all the things that we need to control and get better at, because we don't want any of those things or anything else you can think of affecting us in the win-loss column. But ultimately, Nebraska did everything they needed to do coming into this game with probably more pressure than Purdue. You got to think Purdue had a week and a half to prepare for Nebraska. Purdue had a way of trying to get motivated for Nebraska. Purdue felt like they were going to come in and shock the world, and Nebraska was able to withstand their own doing of mistakes, take control of the game, and then hang on at the end and then say, we're just not going to run out the clock. Emmett Johnson put the dagger in the heart. Good victory by Nebraska. Could, and hopefully can get even better moving forward.
Jay, it's an 11 a.m. kickoff next Saturday, Michigan State in East
Really?
Lansing.
That early?
It's an 11 a.m. kickoff for Nebraska and the Spartans. The Spartans haven't won since September 9th, and they're they're losing games by an average of 22 points since then. And so we know obviously they've had their share of injuries. They've had their share of struggles both on and off the field as a program. And so it's an opportunity for Nebraska to go in. Go ahead and give us your final thoughts before we hand it off.
Hey, man, a win is a win. You said it last week. I said it before. An ugly win is better than a ugly loss or a pretty loss. And so really, not celebrate. Just be okay with this. Celebrate it, obviously within reason. And just come back tomorrow ready to work. You got a big game going on the road. Even though the game is Saturday at 11, it's a little bit of a short week because you've been playing at 2:30 in the night game before against Illinois. So you have to focus in and really do a lot of your work in the beginning of the week, which is obviously accentuate your positives and really get better at some of your negatives. Get back to work and really find details, and this team will be fine. Congratulations to them. And a lot of these guys, listen, the guys that have stuck around, stayed on the team, made the team. Also, the young guys that have came in, and I'm putting all the transfers in there. Guys that have stepped up and made this, a possibility for Nebraska to be 5-3 right now, after not even being close to this mark in the last few years, is very, very commendable. And the coaching staff as well. And so everybody should, have the hat tipped towards them. But then also, as much as we're tipping the hat towards them, all is not done, and we need to do more, and we should demand more and expect more, as they should themselves. But with that being said, the rest of tonight, until you get to whenever they get on their schedule, let's delve into what we did really well. Because look, it was Nebraska was, I wouldn't say Nebraska was doing some things out of character, even though we've been fumble prone. We've seen this how many times? We've seen the beginning of this movie. It could turn ugly very quick. The bounce back percentage of this team, I don't care that the Big Ten West isn't very good. We've lost to enough crappy teams over this last 12 to 15 years. The bounce back percentage of this team is pretty dang good. Big kudos to them, and I'm happy for them. So with that being said, it's 7:35. We are 5 minutes over, but Jay Foreman after game show is going to sign off. We're going to hand it off to Harrison and Derek Lamont Pearson, as I like to call him, and let them take it home. But appreciate you guys listening. Another Husker victory, well earned, much deserved. We'll holler at you next week.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi, this is Cameron Hall, owner of Doors Plus. If you're looking to upgrade your garage door, my team and I are here to help. Doors Plus represents 5 major garage door manufacturers, so you have plenty of options when looking to upgrade. Doors Plus prides itself on a fast but reliable service with a 3 to 5 week lead time to complete your entire project. We have multiple commercial installation crews in order to get your project done efficiently and correctly. Give Doors Plus a call for your new commercial garage door at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month. It's glow time. See Club for details.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
This is Rick Heyman, president of Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I'm inviting you to stop by any of our 3 great locations to see why we have been voted best of for decades. We're a 4-generation jewelry company that refuses to compromise on quality or service. If you're in the market for anything for anyone special, nothing, and I mean nothing, says it better than Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Sartor Heyman Jewelers since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island.
Find the ultimate sports bar experience at Big Ten Sports Bar and Grill. Big definitely describes the Big Ten House Nachos, topped with pulled pork, barbecue sauce, and much more. Enjoy char-buffed chicken wings, coated in flavorful sauce, delicious pizza, and half-pound burgers made to cure your cravings. The bar features 16 different taps, including local Nebraska brews. There's a good wine selection and the signature Big Ten teenies served with champagne. Big Ten Sports Bar and Grill. Visit big10lnk.com.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Krekak, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to the Ticket Postgame Show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, State Farm by Vinny Krekak, Elway Power Sports, Action Plumbing, and again, we're joined by DP, the boss man here. DP, I know you were out at the game. Elements were pretty cold, but overall experiences, kind of what are your initial thoughts of the game since it's your first time hopping on the mic here tonight?
One, glad the crowd showed up. Hall of Fame honorees were there, so that was kind of cool. But it's the first coldish day, and the stadium feels different when it's cold. The vibe is different when it's cold. Also, in comparison, it was kind of interesting. The last time I went to volleyball last night, and it was kind of cold. And Rico pointed out to me that, well, that may have been the quietest Husker crowd he's heard at a volleyball game in a while. And I think cold had a lot to do with it. Cold, like it's a real thing, right? You have to go through it. That affected. Then to watch the players, even in warm-ups, there was a different vibe, different movement. A little bit of tentativeness about the fan base. Like,
what do you mean by that?
Like, what are we getting here?
Yeah, that's okay. I know what you're saying.
Like, what are we getting here? And then when it started to show that it was 7-0. Okay. I mean, it didn't start the way. And listen, Nebraska fans certainly have reason to pause. And so when you start out with a fumble on the kickoff, you start out with penalties, you start out with all that. Listen, that psychology kicks in. It's just human nature. Not real sure what we're seeing. And you get the first score, and it's like, okay, this is better. At least there's that. It's that kind of day. And you kind of expected the conversations that you kind of expected at low scoring.
Yeah, a lot of people are coming into tonight's game saying we expect Nebraska to win, but it's probably going to be a win ugly type of game.
Yeah, and that was kind of the vibe. Halftime, there was some full. Okay, this seems to be an event, right? So let's dive in the pool. And then, but a lot of people were cold, so they left.
Yeah, I did see a little bit of exodus there.
They left, and look, I'm not I'm not mad. My thing is, like, I'll leave at a point where I can get back and watch. So it was, did I expect anything, any reason? Like, I wasn't going to do post game there. And I wanted to be back here to make sure that we get things done, but I also need to see the game in full. So I left at halftime with the crowd, and there's a crowd that left. No slight, just is. Watching downtown Lincoln now, there are people who are still celebrating, but it was a different vibe. Now, this is a happy Lincoln.
100%.
This is a happy downtown Lincoln. And the fan cam, and at some point what we should probably do is stream some of the fan reactions, right? Because people, as they walk by the window, they're throwing the bones, they're giving the thumbs up, they're applauding. I'm glad for Lincoln. I'm glad for Husker Nation that you're getting this, because you deserve it. You've been through some stuff. Like, you've been through some stuff.
And it kind of shows, right, in that hesitancy that you were seeing with some of the fan base. But that's again where I've been impressed by this roster. No one ever wants to start, back-to-back games with the first play. You're fumbling the ball, you're throwing interception, turnovers, but the poise and the effort to not let the game overwhelm you, to kind of play that game. And that's when in years past, I think where a lot of the frustrations come in, is like we seem to lose all poise whenever that downhill snowball starts to build up some momentum. And this is kind of the year where, I'll tell you what, every time that defense steps out on the field, and even the special teams, give the special teams credit to Alvano, you can put a lot of faith in not just your offense, but your defense and special teams playing that complementary football. And Harburg, rough start, but again, does just enough, has those big plays, momentum plays to keep those drives alive, and then winning the field position too. And you got to give defense a lot of credit for just keep backing them up and making that field position so favorable for Nebraska all game long. But they never seem to lose their poise. I know things can be ugly and it cannot always be the best product to watch, but I keep seeing a team over and over again not just lose their confidence and not, continue to make those mistakes.
I'm in coach mode more than fan mode, that I don't want to criticize on the night of a win. The general rule, 24 hours. Sometimes coaches say you get 12 hours. So you can celebrate tonight and then you get back to work to look at what you can do better. And you do that. And listen, this town doesn't need, there are enough voices in this town who will criticize. And my being one of them when appropriate. Tonight, Lincoln deserves to just celebrate. And you can get into the nooks and crannies of what you want it to look like. But nothing that we talk about is more important than 31-14. You figured out a way to beat a Big Ten opponent in a meaningful game in late October. That's the headline. Like, in the GPS of football, where are we? Which tells you, okay, this is what we're doing. This is who we are. This is how we got here. This is a 5-3 football team coming off several seasons where 5 wins was end game, end of season type numbers, and with a new coach and a new coaching staff and 2 new quarterbacks and new running backs and new receivers and a different offensive line and the headline is where we are currently is 5-3. This football team has figured out how to win 5 of 8 football games, including being on a streak in the Big Ten. Now, you're not beating Michigan, but that's a whole different conversation for a whole other day, right? Because now you got to look back at it, right?
Yeah.
You got to look back at Michigan and go, well, wait a minute, that's kind of bizarre, because some weird things happened in that game. If you really go back and look at it. And you can dream back to Minnesota, but then why do that to yourself? Be present in the moment. Here's where we are. We're at 5-3. And then what's the end game? Now you want to get to a bowl game. You can start to actually talk about bowl game and being bowl game ready and worthy, right? That means, how do you get there? How do you get from 5-3 to bowl eligible? Beat Michigan State. That's it. You can go through and you don't have to focus. From a coaching standpoint, that Matt Rule and his staff is going to get busy. They're going to celebrate. They'll raise a glass tonight. They'll eat something really good and healthy, and they'll go to sleep with a smile on their face, knowing that, you know what? Mission accomplished. You went 1-0 this week. And then you get to exhale, deep breath, and then point your eyes towards East Lansing. I can say that. Man, East Lansing, who has their own bevy of problems and who would trade their season for yours and would like nothing better than to spoil the good vibe and the positive stuff that's happening in Lincoln, Nebraska. So tonight, Husker Nation, raise your stinking glass, man. Like, look, 5-3. If we had this conversation in August, man, everybody's in. Yeah, you can say what if, and what ifism is a plague. Like, yeah, like I know that it's a part of consider this, and you play devil's advocate, and you do those things. But the reality is, if we had asked the question in August, are you happy with being 5-3? Yep. Because you haven't been 5-3. When was the last time Nebraska was 5-3? That's the thing, right? You have to literally ask the question and then say, in order for them to be 5-3 now, there is just a boatload of things positive that had to happen. Start with Matt Rule and say, congratulations, coach. Congratulations.
100%.
Like, you came into a situation that was so messy that they called you and needed you and gave you a contract for the gods because things were so bad that you needed to go and get Matt Rule, and you went and got him, and then you challenged him with not being similar to what this fan base has experienced in the last few years, and to endure all the questions and all the doubt and all of the issues, because there's been a ton of issues on the field and off. But what was asked of him was find a way to win games that this team, this program, this university should win. Just do that. And guess what? We'll treat you like a king. Do that. Look at Tony White and what he's done defensively. That with a new type of offense and a new scheme, they asked the question, what is this 3-3-5? Is this fluke defense? Is this magic? Is this, wizardry? Nope. It's rock solid football defensively that has to be coached and developed. You have to find talent to do certain things in this thing that aren't normally typical, but it asks and demand that you do basic things well.
And they certainly did things well. For everyone watching the game tonight, it was, again, I'll say it again, every time that defense steps on the field as a Husker fan, you feel good throwing the bones up, because it's one of those, even when they get those chunk plays, you just know that team's not going to break. Their will is just over and over again. Man, they seem to find a way to answer the call. We got to go ahead and throw it to our break here. So that way we're going all the way up until that 9 o'clock hour. So you guys are good to join us all the way up until then. But this is the Ticket Postgame Show. We got me and DP. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Personal banking like you remember.
Home. It's more than a place. It's a feeling. This is Eric Bertrand with Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. If you're looking for a place to call home, call me. Let's review your financing options and get you into the home of your dreams. Proudly serving Husker fans.
Personal banking like you remember.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Find the ultimate sports bar experience at Big Ten Sports Bar and Grill. Big definitely describes the Big Ten House Nachos, topped with pulled pork, barbecue sauce, and much more. Enjoy char-buffed chicken wings, coated in flavorful sauce, delicious pizza, and half-pound burgers made to cure your cravings. The bar features 16 different taps, including local Nebraska brews. There's a good wine selection and the signature Big Ten teenies served with champagne. Big Ten Sports Bar and Grill. Visit big10lnk.com.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Elway Power Sports of Lincoln is kicking off October with Can-Am side-by-side specials all month long. Are you ready to rule the terrain on a 2023 Can-Am Defender, Commander, or Maverick? You call the play and score big with rebates up to $1,500 or financing as low as 1.99% for 36 months. From an open road to the trails, there's a Can-Am side-by-side that's right for you, and Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has them all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer ends October 31st, 2023. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sport shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
It's time for the Jay Foreman postgame show.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
A look to the left, and he kind of telegraphed it all the way. When the ball was tipped, Foreman's in the right spot.
Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical.
Here's Valenti dropping back, fires a pass, and it's intercepted by the Huskers at the 25, Jay Foreman. And Foreman takes it down to the 19-yard line of Oklahoma. Another big play by the Black Shirts.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to the Ticket postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, State Farm, Vinny Kreekak. And then we got some news right there. Friends, it's Matthew Perry dead at, okay, wow.
Drowned.
That's breaking news.
Apparent drowning. Matthew Perry.
From Friends?
54 years old, apparent drowning.
Is that just broke?
It literally just came across my phone.
Man, with the
law enforcement sources tell us the actor was found Saturday at an LA area home. Didn't say if it was here. Appears that he is drowned. First responders rushed over on a call for cardiac arrest. It's unclear exactly what happened. Says he was in a jacuzzi at the home. There were no drugs found at the scene. They believe there was no foul play involved. Okay, it's a bummer. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that just tells you.
That's a bummer.
Enjoy the Husker win because life happens.
Well,
like,
this
it's just
right. Like to go through. Listen, through all the stuff that we go through, and a big part of what we do in this space is we tell stories and we share both celebration and commisery.
Yes.
Right?
It's a good way to put it.
We're connected, right? So we all get together, and if we're in a day to celebrate, we celebrate. And when there are times to say that things aren't good, we say, listen, we prefer that they were good, but they're not good. So yeah, the passing of Matthew Perry, according to TMZ. So there's that.
Well, rest in peace. He was a great actor. Loved it. He seemed like a really humble guy too. Anytime he was talking to just, I don't want to call him everyday Joes, but people like me, he's a great guy. Like you never hear any bad stories about him.
He went through an interesting phase in a different life, but there'll be time to talk about Matthew Perry.
Yeah,
we'll get to that throughout the week. Currently over at the Vandy Center, the Huskers #1 and the country volleyball team is up 24-21 over Rutgers in the first set after sweeping Maryland last night. Couple of things about last night, and we can get through that. But as I told people, my daughter and my grandson were in town this week, and to tell you the response that they got and the love that they got from Lincoln, you now have recruited fully 2 new Husker fans. That they fell in love with Lincoln. They fell in love with Husker Nation and how they go about their business. They made friends along the way. The kindness that was shown to my family, whether it was at the Big Red Brunch or around the city, down at the stadium, and down at the arena last night. For people who stopped and just said, "Hey, you must be Nate. How are you?" Like listen, it's good when people are who they say they are and you give example. So let me say thank you just to that. And I'm going to be consistent over the next couple of days just to say thank you for how kind Husker fans and Husker Nation and fans and friends of the ticket were to my family. So
that's awesome. And then if I can be honest, DP, if we're talking about Nate, you could have dropped that young man off anywhere and he would have killed it.
He'd come back to King, right?
He hopped on today for the pregame show, and man, he's just Nate. I'll tell you what, for a kid being 9 years old, he comes in there, grown man, professional.
Right, like it just it's kind of what you want to do. You want to be proud. You want to be proud of your family. You want to be proud of your people. To watch my daughter and the job that she's done with Nate and her life. Yeah, It was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. He's a sharp young man. I kind of jokingly said, well, he'll be president of the United States one day. At 9, I'm not sure that I would put a boundary on him. I would not put a ceiling on the young man. So it was good stuff all around. I just wanted to say thank you. First set to Huskers volleyball.
Let's go.
To the Huskers. So they win
We'll
at 25-22, and they had the second set there. There's some of the numbers that I wanted to go through, and then some of the quotes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the post-game quotes. And it's always interesting to me. So you can tell who had the game because the media gets to choose some players that they want to question. And then the program can then determine, you know what, hey, there's some other people that we want to talk to. From the offense, it was Teddy Prohaska, Heinrich Harburg. And then defensively, it was Ty Robinson, Tommy Hill, and Quentin Newsom. So it makes sense, right? Playmakers. And the story behind Prohaska getting back into the starting lineup, I was a little curious because if you had asked me a year ago who was the best Nebraska offensive lineman, would I have been wrong? Would I be wrong in saying that the majority of Husker Nation would have said Teddy Prohaska?
No, definitely not.
Right?
I think most people would put him up there.
Right? And so for him to go through the injury and then come back and then not be placed in the starting lineup again led to questions. Well, maybe he's been bypassed, right? Maybe he's. So a couple of things. Here's the thing, Dave. He was asked about the past few months and coming back from injury. He said, I understood why they didn't want to make me a starter, and I accepted that. It's kind of like my freshman year. I was trying to give them a reason to get me on the field, that heavy personnel package. You know, I come in, I knew whatever they were going to give me, I was going to take that and run with it. You never know what your time is going to be, but once it was ready, I was prepared for it. A huge statement of accountability, being a team player, being that guy. He was asked about the offensive line injuries and prepping for Purdue. He said, we lost 3 linemen in 1 game. It's kind of the whole O-line. We said all hands on deck. Whatever you were doing beforehand, you have to ramp it up. Nothing was going to be good enough. You have to be able to exceed the standard you set the week prior. That's something all the coaches preach. And as a group, we kind of embraced that and thought it was in this week's preparation. And then in playing with a young offensive line, he said, today it was an up and down game, a lot of ups, but there were also some downs. One of the things the veteran guys have to push on the younger guys, like the young wide receivers and running backs, is you have to stay right down the middle. Stay calm. Stay cool. Stay collected. Throughout the game, you can't go crazy. So that's something you have to put on the young guys on the whole team. So some emotional and mental maturity, and then the repeated mantras. That this is listen, we're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to work to standard. If you had to grade today's offensive line today, what would you give them? And text line, please let us know. Where would you grade the offensive line today?
You know, if I'm factoring in the short time window, I'm in probably a B+ range.
Okay.
I think, the best compliment I can give the offensive line today was I didn't notice you. And that's a good thing. You guys, they weren't blowing blocks. I feel like Harburg, there's a few times he got pressure. For the most part, he had time to make those deep throws. They didn't have a whole lot of errors for the most part. Like, yes, there's some things that need to be cleaned up, but with such a short time run and getting comfortable, and especially in a position at the offensive line where experience 100% matters, building up that team chemistry when you got to be able to make those, that center, if he's calling those audibles, you got to be able to adjust on the fly. You got to know what he's talking about. And again, I feel like Satterfield probably deserves some credit in that. Early on, it felt like pretty simple, just hat on hat. And as the game got more comfortable, kind of feeling like, okay, this is the things we can do. It was pretty simple offense up front. And then as the game went on, they got comfortable kind of expanding out that offense. We saw that with some of the explosive plays. And I was just really impressed by the game plan was really simple early on, but they were able to get comfortable in it quickly. And as the game went on, I was impressed overall. But again, the best compliment I can give them is I didn't really notice them. And I noticed big blocks when they happen out in open space. But when Harburg was back in the pocket, it felt like he had enough time to make those throws. rarely going to get a perfect game where he's never pressured. But yeah, I'm going to put him in that B plus range. If I go back and watch it, I have to see, but maybe even an A minus.
Aaron Keene says, a C at best.
Okay.
And again, I'm open to your opinions on it because.
What would you rank? Are you going to factor in, or is your standard, forget the injuries, you're starting, I'm going to grade everyone the same?
Well, the standard is your own expectation of what you prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
And are you able to do the things that you were coached to do, that you were trying to do? For me, this is why the grading is. When you get the offensive line grades, right?
Getting some heat from the text line. I appreciate the 402-464-5668. Tell me why you disagree, though. This is why the text line's great. Give me a reason.
So one texter says, 3880 says, C+. He said, that's funny. Okay. So he said, needed a lot of, I noticed a lot of tackles coming from the backside of the formation and not at the point of attack. They need to work on cutting off the backside defensive ends. Now, some of that's scheme and some of that's read.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you leave the defender farthest away from the play just for the running back or the quarterback to beat. Then it's timing. That could be timing. Like Harburg, get to the mesh point and then make a decision. And it has to be within a time frame because we're going to send extra blockers to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
You got to beat the defensive end or the outside linebacker. Like that's your job. That's your responsibility. Or to the running back. You know what? We're going to block the point of attack. You have to beat one defender. It may come from the point farthest away. But sometimes it's misblocking, and all of that's true.
You read well, maybe a couple more here, and we'll go ahead and throw
B
it to break.
plus because what were you watching? Number 5 was in the backfield all day. And listen, that's a Big Ten defense.
Mm-hmm.
So they got playmakers too.
Well, the reason I'll say this much, the reason I put it at a B is because I was expecting a D. That's where my expectations were.
That's fair.
Because I think if you're expecting that line to dominate today, that's where I see it crazy. That's awesome to have those expectations, but when you're looking at 3 new guys on that offensive line, and yes, it wasn't perfect, but there's enough time to make those big plays, the ones that were drew up in the running game. It started to pick up at the end there. Emmett Johnson was getting more and more carries, but again, we got to go ahead and throw it to break here. We're going a little long in this first one.
Mm-hmm.
After this one, we'll be all caught up here. You guys are free to join the show. 402-464-5685. This is the Ticket Postgame Show. We got me, DP, should say Harrison, and DP. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
What do Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Tiger Woods, and LeBron James have in common? They're all among the best athletes in their sports of all time. And they all do Pilates. Yep, Pilates is not just for women. It helps everyone to bring the muscles of the body into balance and help the mobility and strength in spine and joints. Pilates can help your golf game and anything else you do for fun. Do Pilates, do life. Check out Club Pilates in Lincoln today at 84th and Holdridge. Online at clubpilates.com/Lincoln or at 531-500-1456.
Actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this, my actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this, my actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this, they actually say it's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sports shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Chances are you're a busy person. Chances are you'd rather not drive down to Beatrice for your favorite desserts. Chances are you'd really benefit from a Lincoln location for all of your fruitcake, liqueur cake, and breakfast bread needs. Insert Beatrice Bakery in downtown Lincoln. 1040 O Street, the new 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Just grab a cake out of the cooler, pay at the counter, and you're headed home with the delicious, fruity, nutty, decadent treat of your choice. Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com or now in downtown Lincoln at 1040 O Street.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman Postgame Show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Kreekak, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Krekak, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Ticket Postgame Show. We got Harrison Arns. I'm Harrison Arns here with DP, the boss man, joining me for this postgame show. Again, you guys are free to join the show through the Sartor Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. We got a few here I want to get to. We have Dave in Fullerton. We're grading the offensive line's performance today. Line at the very least, a B grade. Purdue has a couple of guys that will be in the NFL, I think. Big Bird also chiming in saying Purdue has some dudes on defense. And again, yeah, there's definitely some names out there. You're seeing them in the backfield over and over and over again. But DB, did you ever give a grade out for the or that offensive line? Or where do you think they stand?
Here's the thing. You can't fail if you win.
That's a good point.
Like if you win, you can't fail.
Mm-hmm.
Did you allow your skill position play, the people who rely on you, to do what they were supposed to do? Did you accomplish the grand mission? Now, was it perfect? No. Was it, can we say that A is really good to perfect? B is good to great? Average to good? C?
Mm-hmm.
D is
bad's below average.
Right. And then F is that you just didn't get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Unacceptable.
F is basically just didn't show up today.
Right. And if I'm wrong in that, and again, text line, let me know whether I at least got in the neighborhood of what the grading is. Now, in coaching speak, you're grading by numbers,
mm-hmm.
right? And you tend to, I mean, you can go to college grading scale. We can go to the higher grading scale. We're 94. We can grade on a curve, which is the whole other thing that if you want to do. You're happy but not satisfied. You're happy, but you're not satisfied. And you can beat Alabama and Georgia and be happy but not satisfied.
Right. And that's the whole momentum of what Matt Rule's been saying over and over and over again.
Right. That Nebraska is happy. I'm not sure you could ever be satisfied, but you can have room to improve. And that's where I would put the offensive line. As a matter of fact, I mean, that's if you said to the offense, does one catch give you a passing grade?
It's just, again, now you're talking about how you want to break it down.
Right? well, because I mean, that, like, I like to think, if I'm evaluating the receivers, and if you said to me, can you give the receivers a passing grade if you only catch 3 passes?
Yeah.
Can you give the running backs a passing grade if none of them reach 100 yards?
Man, I got to start breaking down the running back tape.
Right. If you say that a runner averaged 5.8 yards a carry,
oh, yeah, then you're feeling pretty good.
You're feeling pretty good. But then you have to also say that aside from the 28-yard run, he averaged less than 4 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
You're happy. You're not satisfied. Because that means the majority of your carries, you didn't accomplish whatever the midline, which I would imagine is 4 yards a carry or somewhere in that vicinity. You didn't achieve that for the majority of your carries. You didn't achieve that. Like that, you didn't. Harburg was 19 carries for 22 yards. Happy? Probably not. You won the game, but are you satisfied with the performance? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
The receiving game, Josh Fleeks caught 2 passes for 24 yards. 2 catches, 2 targets, 24 yards. Happy, maybe. Satisfied? Jalen Lloyd, 1 catch, 73 yards, 2 targets. Happy.
I was pretty satisfied on that touchdown.
Happy.
Yeah, happy. Definitely happy. But there can be more. But at the same time, you got to look at the game plan.
You
too. 6 of 11.
You caught 1 ball.
Yeah, but on 11 pass attempts, how many are getting thrown your way?
Two targets. Two targets. And the one before that hit him in the hands. He dropped it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Jaden Doss.
Mm-hmm.
3 targets. He was the most targeted player in the offense in the passing game. 1 catch, 16 yards. You're not dissatisfied. You're happy because the offense scored 31. You put 31 points on the board. You don't care how I get up there. Now, mind you, the defense is responsible for 14 of that or 17 of that. Okay. Malachi Coleman, 1 target. It was a pass interference play, but no catches.
Yeah, not satisfied.
Happy? Are you happy that you didn't have a catch?
Yeah, no, definitely not happy, not satisfied.
Right. So, I mean, it means when you get into the grading thing and the evaluation, then it's there. So let's read those texts because the folks are out there.
Absolutely. We do have another one, 402-610-1961. We just need to address the O-line. We did do that. Just go back on the YouTube, scrub through. We did actually just give our grades. And then we also have someone commenting on the offensive line's performance again. Absolutely got it right with the injuries and everything they've gone through. This was an impressive job, which again, this is kind of grading on a curve. The analogy we gave before, if you're thinking about a bunch of new guys with the injuries stepping in, and another one, 6-8-5-9, single blocked field goal for a touchdown was pretty awesome. And I'll say this, I lost my mind. So I got home just in time. I see it scored. I'm like, okay, sweet. I'm going to go run to the car and grab my phone because I left it in there. I come back upstairs, and all I catch was the last 2 seconds where they're just high-fiving into the end zone, and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, Nick and I had come back here, and we were getting all set up, right? And it was that thing, and I heard him scream. And so I went full back and rewound because I didn't want to miss. Like I was like, okay, I need the vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to get that vibe of what happened, yeah. Listen, that's part of the deal, right? You sometimes we miss things, and then you have to go back and witness it. And I was kind of stunned by it, but I actually talked about it. So the pregame show, actually the preview show with Nick, he said, "What? I don't think this will be a scoring fest." Remember, Nebraska scored 30 points last year against Purdue. Now, how would they score 30 points this year? And I said, that's 4 touchdowns and a field goal. So, and we kind of went through it. And I said, yeah, big passing. I thought big pass for a touchdown, 1 long run for a touchdown. It'd be really cool if we threw in a special teams touchdown and then a field goal to, right, whatever the 4th touchdown was. I said,
right.
I went through, I said, I don't know if I said Borkich or Fedoni, but I said somebody scoring a touchdown at the tight end position. One of the young receivers breaking loose. I thought it was going to be Doss. It was Lloyd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what 31 points. I'm like, that's kind of where it was. I'm not sure that they're happy with the 31 points. They're happy with the win, but did you get it the way you want? And did you leave points on the board?
Yeah, and there's 100%. If you're offensive player, I hope you're thinking you left points on the board, but we keep going back to it. You're happy, but you're not satisfied. And David Fullerton, even speaking on the defense, I was happy Purdue dropped some balls. That is the thing. There were some first downs where they could have moved the chains, and given the defense still played a great game, but you're still not satisfied, right? Because you look at if we're playing a Sanders again, he's surgical when he's got time. When Hudson Card had time, and he wasn't rushing out of the pocket. I should say, Fleeks was taking advantage of a few that were fluttering in the wind there that parachuted. But nonetheless, he was making some pretty good throws and then a few drop balls. So again, Purdue, we got thankful that they dropped a few balls, but again, you break that down just about every game. I
love the fact that Devin Mockabee got 7 rushes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, offensive coordinator of Purdue.
Their game was a little weird on the offensive.
He had 30 carries for 170 last year. And you gave him on a cold day in Lincoln, you gave him 7 carries.
Well, that's what was amazing. Purdue's they were opting to throw into the wind a lot.
Listen, they were 6 let me tell you, these numbers are terrible numbers. And that's including the run at the end of the game where they were 16 of 32 for 100 yards. For 100 yards. Listen, if I drop back 32 times and you talk about the F, the only thing that keeps him from not having an F is the one touchdown pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's okay. You get a D, maybe a D minus.
The D minus there,
right? Like
because you look across the table, Heinrich Harburg only 11 attempts, 6 for 11, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns,
and
on 11 attempts.
And I'm not. He's not. He can't be happy.
No.
Right? 6 of 11.
And like I'd imagine Heinrich Harburg's thinking like, man, I could have played a lot better today too. Given you're still happy about the win, great job. I don't want to get off that Husker win. I mean, we're 5-3 today.
19 carries for 22 yards. Like, listen, through all of it,
yeah.
Right?
We got to go to break, but wrap this one up. Like, it's a great point to wrap up.
Right, like there's so much going on in this thing, but we are celebrating a 31-14 win.
Absolutely. We'll throw it to break here. Ticket post-game show. Harrison Arns, DP. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sports shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Elway Power Sports of Lincoln is kicking off October with Can-Am side-by-side specials all month long. Are you ready to rule the terrain on a 2023 Can-Am Defender, Commander, or Maverick? You call a play and score big with rebates up to $1,500 or financing as low as 1.99% for 36 months. From an open road to the trails, there's a Can-Am side-by-side that's right for you, and Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has them all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer ends October 31st, 2023. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details. It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from. and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow. What about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their open mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Call your local State Farm agent Vinny Krekak at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's the Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, the Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Sponsored by Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Krekak, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Ticket Postgame Show. I'm Harrison Arns running the board. We got the boss, DP, joining me in studio. We got a couple more segments here. This one will be a little short, and we'll get back on track on the next one to finish things off. We kind of went through talking about the coaching. I was a little surprised by Purdue's coaching, and on the same effort, there's some maybe questionable plays on the Nebraska side as well. But nonetheless, we celebrate a Nebraska win. 31-14. If you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line, or catch us on any of the streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, Channel 951. And again, that's always a great way to put a face to the voice. DP, if there was any player that really stuck out to you today, that was just really impressive, whether because they had to come into the game, not a lot of reps, or they came out and just dominated like we expect them to.
Well, I mean, I think to talk to young Lloyd and watch him go 73. Look, that's perfect. That's perfect. Isaac Gifford led the way with 10 tackles, 10 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, one breakup. Sitting at the top of the defense, right? John Bullock with 7 tackles, 5 solos. Phelan Sanford with 6 tackles, 3 solos. Got joint credit for a tackle for loss. What they did defensively, I mean, was impressive. The block kick and return, the stadium didn't even know how to respond to it. Like,
I think they're all thinking about when it happened to us against Oklahoma, and they're just, man, we're on the other side of this.
Yeah, time. let's throw beer in the air. Like, let's throw beer in here. That's official. Emmett breaking late, right, to do his thing. And then, yeah, for Prohaska to be a factor in this thing again. Those are the ones for me that jumped out. You go, wow, you had a good day. And then, of course, Tristan Navarro banging from 55.
That was just awesome to see.
In tough weather. Yeah. Those are the ones for me. I'm pretty sure, everybody has their own. But as far as I was concerned, those are the ones that popped.
Yeah, and again, I think the one that I was just, man, that really just put me over the top on what was just a series of awesome plays was that Alvano kick was huge for me. Just seeing him knock that one in a rough, the winds were swirling in that stadium, so to kind of time that right and get it right, right down the middle too. It was right down the middle, and it was like, man, he looked like he was back in the day playing state football championship back at Memorial Stadium. Just the confidence, drills it down the middle, and Matt Rule, the huge smile on his face after. It's like he's got his swagger back. It felt like Alvano, there's no question he's got his swagger back.
Yeah, I mean, that was, one, getting the opportunity and for them to make the choice. Purdue had a couple opportunities where they could have gone for long field goals.
I understand what they did.
Well, he's 2 of 6, but here's the thing, right? That being ahead, being a front runner allows you to do some things to better your program, to better your team. And so that's what he did. He took an opportunity to 55-yarder. Right. And we saw that he was hitting pretty good in pregame. But 55 yards on a cold day with the wind kind of all over the place in a push, you don't really that's not expected. But to see, again, Matt Rule's smile that he had an opportunity to give Alvaro this opportunity. And for him to nail it allowed for the crowd to see that version of him again, right? Because you change the way you think about people the last time you see them. And now you can actually, going forward, you can actually scheme for, listen, our young man not only has the leg, but he's good in games in tough situations. And so in a tough situation, he did his thing. He really did his thing. Yeah.
You got to love the fans on 1040 O Street. These guys are the best. I absolutely love Lincoln.
We had to give the Go Big Red and just at the screen. You're right. You're happy for the Lincoln kid to get the opportunity to feel good about himself in a meaningful game. And I can't overstate it enough that the positive things that were done today were done in a Big Ten game that mattered in late October. Wow. Remember that? Remember meaningful games with a winning record in late October.
It's been a while for me, DP.
Right?
First time I've been in Lincoln at this point in the season where I have some confidence when I walk out in my Husker gear. I look at the volleyball team we got to get an update on that before we go to break.
They're up 2 sets to none, and they're up 8-2 in the third set.
So what that put us at 21-0 if we win this one?
Yeah.
So we'd be 20. And again, volleyball team 21-0. By the way, Husker soccer just been on an absolute tear.
Tomorrow's a big day at Hibner.
So
tomorrow's
again,
a big day at Hibner.
It just feels like I think it's 1 o'clock. We'll double check.
1 o'clock
that.
Ohio State.
But it's just, man, I wake up. It's been a long time. I wake up tomorrow, and I will be wearing my Husker gear in just full pride. And it's been a long time.
I was going to save this for the last segment, but I just got goosebumps because tomorrow is basketball season.
Yep, and we got Doan.
You got
coming
to
BBA.
So you got two games tomorrow. So the girls play at 2, the women play at noon, and the men play at 5. So this is where I was. I was going to save this for the final segment, but we can get into it now because I wanted I really want to see the women's basketball team. The new point guard is all the rave, but you've got, Josh Shelley, you've got all conference players in Shelley and Markowski, and then you're returning just production. But you're playing in a Big Ten conference quarterfinal at home in soccer. And
at home is huge,
right?
Too.
And we've watched
Big Ten champs at home.
Big Ten champs at home, and we've watched God bless
God
Sarah
bless.
Weber and Sammy Houck for kind of dragging and kicking us into loving Husker soccer at the proper level.
Mm-hmm.
And we still don't love it enough. We need to be louder about it. Sarah Weber, first team all Big Ten. Sammy Howe didn't get the honors, but come on, your goalkeeper. You're the goalkeeper
For the Big Ten
Big
champs.
Ten champs. Okay, so you did your thing. So part of me was like, okay, I'll go to PBA at 11. And I'm like, maybe I have to call Haas and tell him, hey, bro, sorry. Right? Because I'll go to PBA, be there at 12, watch the first half, head over to Hibner, catch the soccer game, and then come back to PBA for the Huskers and Doan. Because we got guys on both sides.
Yeah,
right?
I know. It's interesting. I got a Doan jersey offered for me tomorrow.
Right.
Luckily, I'm like, hey, I got to work, so I don't got to make.
Not
a
at
decision
5
here.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Not at 5 o'clock, Harrison.
Well, we'll see. Husker Extra Hour. We got some boys out. So
Well,
we'll get
because we got to make sure Ben's okay.
We'll get it taken care of. We'll figure it out nonetheless. But we do got to go to break
Okay.
here. But as simple as it is, 1961. This was huge, and it's about to be a huge day tomorrow. We got one more segment for the Ticket Post Game Show. I'm Harrison. That's DP. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
This is Chris Elgert, loan originator at Lincoln Federal. With over 20 years in the industry, I have found it's extremely gratifying to solve my customers' home financing needs and then show them the options and strategies available for them to fulfill their goals. But my biggest reward comes when I watch my valued customers experience the American dream of home ownership and move into their new home. Talk with me about your home loan at Lincoln Federal and Go Big Red. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Personal banking like you remember.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
What is Casasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Casasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Casasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Casasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Constructors, Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their open mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln is kicking off October with Can-Am side-by-side specials all month long. Are you ready to rule the terrain on a 2023 Can-Am Defender, Commander, or Maverick? You call the play and score big with rebates up to $1,500 or financing as low as 1.99% for 36 months. From an open road to the trails, there's a Can-Am side-by-side that's right for you, and Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has them all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer ends October 31st, 2023. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sport shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Jay Foreman Postgame Show. Sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Krekak, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. The final segment of the Ticket Post-Game Show, and it's been a fun one. Nebraska wins this one 31-14 over the Purdue Boilermakers. Like we talked about, it's an ugly win, but it's a win nonetheless. I don't even know if you can call it an ugly win based off the injuries. I think you're just happy to get away. The field goal, bring that one back for a touchdown. Tommy Hill having some monster plays in there. And we got a little bit of time left. If you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685. You can always join the conversation for any last-minute comments. But, DP, we got a couple minutes left here. Where do you want to go with it? We can keep talking about tomorrow and what that means, or we can dive into a little more few details of this game. And we do have Washington with 2-point lead over Stanford as I look above as well.
Yeah, look. Today was fantastic. One, Penn State almost crapped the bed against Indiana.
Yeah.
Like that was just like we were in the present. And then Northwestern beating Maryland. Like I don't even understand. Like every week I learn. I remember more each week how little we know about college and professional sports because most of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. For Maryland to be who they now are versus who we thought they were, to watch Penn State, the number 3 team in the Big Ten Conference, play Indiana as though, I mean, literally, it's a play. It's a play. Like they're tied with 2 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
At home.
The Hoosiers came to play or Penn State didn't. It's one or the other.
At home.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh man, at Beaver Stadium, it's tight. It's a tight score.
Yeah.
And the moment Indiana played for the tie, I literally said to some of the media guys, "Oh, they just lost." Like this, well, because then it changes the play calling and it changes how you defend. Like they got the ball on an interception, 23-yard line. And they played as conservative as they could possibly play just to get the field goal to tie it. And I went, no, play for the win, bro. Play for the win. Like and then to watch Oklahoma just lay an absolute egg against Kansas. So we know less today about and watch Oregon. Oregon looked like the number 2 team in the country today, except they've already lost to Washington, who is on the ropes currently. So we know very little. And then just
Stanford's frisky. Something about Stanford.
Right. Especially at home on a Saturday night.
Yeah, we saw it versus Colorado. They said, we're not done yet. Here we come.
On a Saturday night.
Feels a lot like what's going on right here with number 5 Washington beating up on them. And then Stanford, here they come.
And then we like to write off Notre Dame. Except they welcome in Pitt and beat them like there's a debt involved. Like it was like, oh,
it's personal.
Thanks for coming in. Take this beating. Listen, through all of that, Nebraska now sits at 5-3. And again, celebrate tonight, Lincoln. Celebrate. The Huskers are 5-3. Your Huskers are 5-3 with the opportunity in 6 days to go 1-0 and become bowl eligible.
It's been a while for me, DP. Just got down in 2018, and I thought it happened like that. And that's why you got to appreciate those seasons. You know, we were 5-3, and as this text line says it, we'll finish it off here. I promise you, when we were 0-2, nobody would be complaining about a 5-3 start right now.
You get no
well
complaints
said
from
to
me.
0486.
Hey.
We'll go ahead and get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy a Huskers win, and enjoy a jammed-packed Husker event tomorrow. You got basketball, volleyball, and again, just a great day for Husker events all around. Soccer, too. Can't forget about that. But that's going to be it for us. That's DP, the boss. I'm Harrison running the 1s and 2s. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning.
Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Personal banking like you remember.
Home. It's more than a place, it's a feeling. This is Eric Bertrand with Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. If you're looking